Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Bobby Pominville and I'm your reporter on the arts. One subject I've really been wanting to talk about is the Hudson School Orchestra Program or String Program. So I think I've invited the perfect person for this, my friend Stephen Dahle. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
And you are one of the string instructors in town.
I'm one of them. There's four of us.
Four?
Four.
You know what? I remember when it was one person.
It was one, Mr. Jack Young, and he's at the high school now. And Rachel Nipfer is our middle school orchestra instructor. And then myself, along with Britt Peterson, are the two elementary orchestra teachers.
Well, you know, that just shows how much it's grown. And what grade did it start in?
It started in fourth grade.
Oh, yeah.
And that was when Rivercrest Elementary wasn't around. So we just had 5 elementary schools. And then it got to the middle school. And then once it got to the middle school, we had to add another person, and then it got to the high school, and we had to add another person. And now with Rivercrest, with 6 elementary schools and the middle school program, we needed another person to help with lessons at the middle school and help with elementary. So now there's me.
That is so neat because you were born in Hudson or in this area, and you grew up in the schools here, and you were outstanding in music.
Oh, thanks.
I went to a lot of your concerts, so I can speak for that. But now, when you were in high school, was there an orchestra?
There was not. When I went through middle school and high school, there was no orchestra program. By the time I got to high school, it was just getting into the middle school. So it's a unique situation how I'm an orchestra teacher, even though I didn't ever take orchestra in public schools. I took lessons, private lessons on the side, and I was in choir and band. I played percussion in band.
Oh, yes.
And that just doing all those things and being able to do violin on the side opened a lot of opportunities, which would be my current position here in Hudson.
And you know what? I really need to talk about Luther College because such a fabulous college. And is that where you really decided what your love was going to be of music, or were you just spread out already then?
I entered Luther thinking that I was going to be a choir teacher. Because my dad is one, my mom is one, and I did, percussion and violin, I did those, but I never really considered it a career. I thought I want to be a choir teacher. And then the middle of my junior year at Luther, I decided, why am I in band and orchestra and not really pursuing this as another option? So kind of late in the game, I decided I wanted to add instrumental education to my music education major. Took a lot of classes in a few semesters to get caught up so I could graduate on time. But now it's opened so many opportunities because now I teach orchestra in Hudson. I'm also the assistant marching band director for the Hudson High School Marching Band. And then because I have vocal and instrumental certification, if a teacher ever needs a substitute teacher in the district for any music class, they can call on me. So it's just opened so many opportunities to have all these doors ready for me.
I'm very much in awe of your college career and what you accomplished. And I've had so much fun watching you through the years as you came up through Hudson. But I have to say, I think that's a wonderful combination.
Yeah.
You have so many more options now.
Every week it seems like there's something new of, could I do this? And it's a great district to be working in.
So I think we kind of answered this, but you want to talk at all about how you were influenced by music while you were growing up?
Well, I think by now, most people who know me, it's not really a secret that I grew up in a musical family.
Yes.
My mom, Carol Dahle, this is actually her 40th year teaching in Hudson as the choir director.
Yes.
So I've only grown up knowing her as a music teacher. And my dad is a very musical person as well, plays plenty of instruments, a choir director, piano tuner, which comes in handy for my job.
Yes.
But yeah, I grew up in an incredibly musical family from the get-go.
Yes.
So I don't think it was ever possible for me to have a career that wasn't in music. I mean, I thought about it, but that's just kind of what I've grown up to do. And then being in Hudson that has such a strong music program in the schools anyway.
And I've always been very proud of that
it's
as
incredible
a former
here.
teacher here.
Yeah.
And really enjoying the fact that we have grown our program.
Yeah, and it keeps getting bigger.
It does.
It really does.
It really does. So, I mean, I've actually heard you play in a recital a long time ago,
Yes.
and that was very delightful. Now, the orchestra program in Hudson took a long time to get approved because I was on 2 committees before we even got the orchestra here.
Yeah. When it was getting approved, that was when I was in, or the talks about it was when I was in middle school and high school. So I didn't have much to do with that. But one of the concerns with orchestra programs is maybe the expense of the instruments, and we we offer rental contracts through Eckroth Music and Schmidt Music currently, or if families maybe are in a situation where renting an instrument isn't feasible, we do have some district-owned instruments that we can provide. So orchestra isn't really an ensemble where we don't ever say no to someone joining, especially in 4th grade when kids are still discovering so many things they're interested in.
Yes.
It's really for everyone. We make it possible. And I think that's been a really successful part of the program is, try it. If maybe after the first concert you think it's not your thing, just let us know. We're glad you tried it. That's, it's all about discovering what you like. And then it's mine and my colleagues' job to help everyone be successful.
I think that is a wonderful attitude. I like that no child is denied an instrument and that they can all have a chance to at least try it. That's very nice. Now, let's talk about your teaching.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about this, so you have to tell me. What is your favorite part of teaching?
Oh, gosh. Well, all of it. This year has been really interesting. Britt Peterson recently had her first baby. His name is Frankie, and he's adorable, but he was born right before school started.
Oh, yes.
So we needed a substitute teacher, and luckily my position was only 0.5 full-time, so I had room in my schedule to take over. So for these first 3 months of the school year, I kind of filled in for her. I was at a different school every day, which it sounds hectic.
It is.
Because it was. But I got to meet so many students and meet so many wonderful teachers, some of my former teachers, actually. I had some of their students in my class. But I think the favorite part for me was just getting to know everyone and seeing where music education starts at like the kindergarten level, and then coming up to the high school for marching band rehearsals or musicals and seeing where it finishes in Hudson with the students' senior year. It's quite remarkable just to see the amount of growth on learning how to sing Do, Re, Mi, and then suddenly putting on these incredible concerts, Home for the Holidays, musicals, marching band shows, orchestra programs. It's really remarkable. So my favorite part is just seeing the growth between grades K through 12.
Yes, and you're right in the area of what, 4 through what?
I teach 4th through 8th grade. So my position covering for Britt Peterson actually just ended. She's now back in the school district. So with her, I was just doing 4th and 5th grade at all the elementary schools. But now it's 4th and 5th grade orchestra at Hudson Prairie. And then I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade orchestra lessons at the middle school.
Oh, right. And that's right adjacent to each other, so that's very handy.
Yeah, so I don't have to drive between buildings. I just walk to the next one, which is really, really convenient.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And I know I hear a lot of things through the grapevine, and you are a very popular teacher. And I see kids in my neighborhood bringing their violins.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm glad to see that they're practicing, because that is a crucial part of the program, too. We can only do so much in one day. And, I tell the kids all the time that practicing is like their homework. If they get a math assignment and they have to do the assigned work, otherwise they're not going to improve their standing in math. And same thing with orchestra. If I tell them, work on number 32 and number 33 in your book, that's part of their homework. And if they get it, then we can keep moving forward, which is what we need to do.
And I'm going to say that I tried violin in high school, and I did not have the benefit of starting early, and it was very difficult.
You started in high school?
Yes, because we did not have an orchestra.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, my grandfather played, and it was sort of a second thought, and I ended up taking violin really way too late because my fingers weren't quite ready to do that.
Well, and I think part of the difficulty with starting later is you kind of think that, the simple things should come easily to you, but it really doesn't. And that's something I have to keep reminding my students is this isn't like, downloading something on fast Wi-Fi. It doesn't happen just like that. It takes a lot of practice, and I tell them, it's okay if you squeak or squawk when you're playing, because this is a new thing. And we do have some fifth graders who start for the first time as a fifth grader, and they come to our fourth grade orchestra rehearsals, and I give them a little extra work so they can get up to their fifth grade peers in the future. But yeah, I think one of the benefits of starting in fourth grade is the fine motor skills you need to play a string instrument. I often tell them it's like rubbing your tummy and patting your head at the same time, because you do all these things with left hand and shifting and right hand bow movement, and it's a lot to think about. So starting them early really helps.
I agree. And see, at that point, I could play the piano so well. And then when I picked up the violin, I thought, why is this so hard?
Well, and the tricky thing about string instruments is they don't have frets or keys for you to know if you're playing the right note. You really have to use your ear. So that's part of what we do in elementary, is work on developing their ear to hear, is this A in tune? How's my second finger C sharp? Things like that you really have to, you can't just look and see if you're in tune, you have to listen, which is difficult.
Now, I know that there's a lot of concerts going on, and can't really talk about the one this week because this show won't air till Friday or so.
Oh, okay.
But could you tell us maybe in the coming year, what would be a concert that someone could attend at the schools?
Oh gosh.
February, maybe?
There is one in February. It's actually our first elementary orchestra concert. February 1st and 2nd. It's a 2-day concert, not like it lasts for 2 days. But we hold it at the Hudson High School auditorium. And in fourth grade, there's about 160 students in fourth grade orchestra and about 90 fifth grade students. And they would not fit on that stage. So what we do on February 1st is 3 out of the 6 elementary schools have their concert then, and then February 2nd is the other half. So it's the same concert both nights, but just different schools, and myself and Britt Peterson will be directing that.
Right. And so if somebody's watching the show and they really want to know, is there some kind of a website?
I know right now, if they're interested in any middle school concerts, we have a middle school music Facebook page. If you search HMS Music Department on Facebook, it should be one of the first things that come up. There we post photos of concerts, keep everyone up to date with upcoming events that are happening. There's quite a few in December to check out. And then for elementary, we don't have a Facebook page for elementary music.
No.
But if you go to the district website, hudson.k12.wi.us, they can click on the district calendar from that main page, and it'll have all the events. But the first big elementary orchestra concert is February 1st and 2nd.
Oh, yes. And if you were going to say, well, why don't they do it in October? Well, I think I know the answer.
Well, if you came to one of our rehearsals in late September, you would know there's no way they were going to be ready.
It's too technical.
It's too technical, and not to throw them under the bus, but we don't sound good enough yet for a concert. Fifth graders can maybe handle it because they've been already playing for a year, but for fourth graders, we need more time. And we don't, when we hand them their instrument, they don't start playing and using the bow. We actually start by learning how to take care of your instrument, how to set it up. Then we talk about the different string names, and then how to use your left hand, and then how to pluck correctly. There's a lot more elements that go into it than just setting it up and playing. So we take time to make sure we teach it correctly. And then by the time February comes around, it's really impressive how far all the students have come.
Oh, and I think I've seen that actually on some kind of a taped show. And I've been amazed that they can even be together, and they can, and I love when the paper covers it too, because we get these delightful pictures.
It's really exciting for all of them,
And I really enjoy that. So I understand totally. February
1st and 2nd. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to remember that myself because I would love to be at that concert. Now, I've talked about a lot, and I know I've asked you to play something today.
Yes.
And I do want to say this. You're a very talented violinist. You're a pianist and a percussionist. And I see you with the marching band a lot. And I've been lucky to hear you play several times. And I think we're going to feature you on the violin.
All right, yes.
So, and I've left it up to you. You're going to do a couple different things.
Yeah, I thought, because it's around the holiday time, it finally snowed, so it looks a little bit more like December. I thought I would play Silent Night.
Okay.
Just hopefully everyone knows
Love
that tune.
it.
And then we'll try a little bit of Jingle Bell Sleigh Ride by Leroy Anderson.
All right, so we're going to let you tune up and get ready.
Sounds good.
Before you do that, I want to thank you for coming today.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
I've just had a really good time talking with you. And I hope that you have enjoyed the show so far. Stay tuned because now you're going to hear some wonderful violin music. Thanks.